In observing our best groups over the years, they oftentimes have urgency on some tasks and are slow and deliberate on other tasks. But I'll start with a quick story. One of my favorite quotes comes from John Wooden, the famous UCLA coach who won 10 national titles. And he always wanted his teams to be quick, but not in a hurry. And I want our groups to play that way. But to start, I think it helps to understand what sort of things should we have urgency on. And some of our best groups have people that are really successful within their businesses, and they'll kind of create a false sense of urgency and need to drive and push things. And oftentimes we'll see there are 4 things that they'll do over and over and over, and they're quick and have an urgency on. 1, following up on referrals, both given and received. Communication in the referral give and receive process is really critical, but following up quickly puts you in a better spot to succeed there. 2, logging and closing out referrals within the system. That allows it to be on the board when we have the critical dialogue in the meeting, but it's something that they have urgency on. 3, and I think this is one of the more important ones, it's scheduling face-to-face members with members and guests. If you look at the group as folks that are an extension of your marketing team, they need to know how they can help you, and there's no better way to learn that than sitting down with them on an ongoing basis. And 4, it's inviting and following up with guests. One of my favorite stories of the past year was a realtor in one of our groups who followed up with one of the guests that came to the meeting. She asked him, what did you think about the referrals group? He said, I hated it. Never do anything like that. But I was thinking about listing our house and buying a bigger house, and in the process, he also liquidated 2 of his investment properties. So she ended up with 4 transactions out of that deal, just because she reached out and followed up with the guest, really to just say, thanks for coming. I'd love to learn more about you and your business. What are our most successful groups slow and deliberate on? There's really 2 things. Number 1, adding new members. Take your time in adding a new member. My grandfather used to always say, hire slow, fire fast. You should have the same mentality within your group. Take your time to get to know them. We've got one group that's a best practice. They won't even consider you for membership as a guest until you've had at least 4 face-to-face meetings with other members of the group and been to a minimum of 2 to 3 meetings. So they like to take their time to get to know you. Our guests like that you're not in a hurry to add them as a member, because they don't want to be sold to. They want to take their time and feel, does this thing work? If I'm going to invest my time and money, is this going to give me an opportunity to succeed? And the second thing that you're slow and deliberate on as groups is making any changes to how you operate. What I mean is making any changes to your bylaws within the group. Don't make quick, sudden changes there. Take your time, think about them, get us involved if you need, and we can talk about best practices from other groups. Certainly if something needs to be changed, let's change it. But if you're a group that's always changing your bylaws, you're probably not going to be around that long. So in closing, as a group, we want you to have urgency on the 3 or 4 things we talked about: following up on referrals, setting face-to-face meetings, inviting guests, logging referrals, and take your time on adding new members, making any changes to the group. And as a group, remember, we want you to be quick, but not in a hurry.